Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.
Thank you for watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our guest is Kelvin Jodisi of ASENTI.
Thank you very much.
Who believes in the prosperity of the youth. Why do you believe in the prosperity of the youth?
Every country's future lies on its youth. So if you don't have visionary youth, then you don't actually have a country.
And that is the reason why you started ASENTI.
Yes, that's the reason why we started ASENTI, and also that's the reason why we also run a program called Change Mind, Change Future. So it's all about mindset, changing different mindset of different youths. Yeah.
Tell us about ASENTI.
So ASENTI actually basically stands for Africa Summit on Entrepreneurship Innovation, but we've been able to actually put it up to more like a platform whereby young people get mentored on business, and also young people can get to interact with different mentors in different industries, looking at telecom industry, in different industries. And so we started mainly ASENTI last year, and so the reason why we started this is because, there's a lot of change in trends. So there's a lot of things that are happening, and right now people are more focusing on innovation. And so we saw that, hey, there's need for us to be able to create a platform whereby guys can be able to meet. And not only meeting because we have the annual conference that we usually do, but also we have different forums whereby we allow these young people to be able to meet and be able to discuss and meet different potential investors and also potential people to mentor them as well.
But one of the reasons you say ASENTI was also inspired as a social enterprise is because you traveled.
I've had a chance to travel, not so much, but my first time to travel was actually in 2011, and I was still in college, and I was invited to a summit in Switzerland, Zurich.
The summit was for?
It's called One Young World. This is for young people, and so I was excited. And obviously, this was my first time ever to go out of the country and even get to the plane. So I think the plane one was the most exciting part. So, but again, the challenge was that I was supposed to actually raise 350,000. So I was like, oh my goodness, where will I get 350,000? So I decided to take up the challenge, and I approached, because I used to, when I used to be in college, I used to be part of a club called Rotaract, which is part of Rotary Club. And so, and I used to be very vibrant. So most people used to know me and all that. So I just approached a few members of Rotary, tell them, hey, can you contribute for me and all those kind of stuff. And actually was able to raise around 200,000. When I got to Switzerland, Zurich, I was just so surprised. The city was just so amazing. Until the first thing I asked myself, after staying there is like, hey, why do politicians, they have their kids study in this school, they also study maybe in these countries? Why can't they make our countries like this different countries? So that was, that's something that surprised me. And then after that, the following year, I had a chance to participate in a global competition called Your Big Year. The reason why it's called Your Big Year is that the prize was for you to travel to 20 different countries across the world, all expenses paid. And actually, you could literally go in all the continents. So at least a country or two in different continents in the world. So that's we participated, and we only 2 Africans who made it to the final. And this was all expense paid to Liverpool. And we had a chance also to attend the Global Entrepreneurship Congress, which is much bigger than the Global Entrepreneurship Summit that usually have by Obama. And this was a very good experience. And going there, we had to do different challenges. Like we had to do fundraising on the street, which was one of the challenge. We had to create video, that demonstrate what are some of the social entrepreneurship impact that we are doing. So it was kind of a whole rated, different exercises.
How has that impacted you in terms of what you're doing currently in your business?
So number one, it really inspired me in terms of network. So from there, I've been able to learn the value of network, not only local network, but global network. Because through there, I was able to, I have now friends all over the world. And again, the experience that I got in terms of learning how these different young people did a lot of things, either social entrepreneurship, all that experience is what helped me actually to build ASENTI.
Calvin, tell us, what does ASENTI offer?
Basically, we offer different programs because we are not 100% free. That's why we are a social enterprise. And right now what we're offering, and basically how we make more money, is we are a membership organization. So we have membership subscription, and it's not much because our target is more youth or guys who just come into business. And then we also sell our merchandise, you know, t-shirts and all those kind of stuff. But again, the reason why we charge membership is because, number one, is because we want to try our best to be able to connect you with a mentor, somebody who can actually help you. Number two is that we'll be able to expose you to like different forums that we have, so that you can be able to meet potential partners and all that. And then again, if you're a member, in case anything comes out, let's say somebody say, hey, I would like to invest in this particular business, you actually become a point of referral. But again, we run the annual conference that happens every year. It's called the Africa Summit on Entrepreneurship Innovation. And this year it's going to be November 4th and 5th at USAU. We run that, and then we actually having also, from next year, we'll be also having a different forums in Botswana and also in Ghana as well. So we kind of want to expand outside, because young people from this country are saying, hey, you know, we cannot all make it to come to Kenya. You know, why don't you have something outside Kenya? And that's what we've been thinking. If we can get enough resources, we actually can do more of regions. So we're going to do maybe Eastern, which is going to be in Kenya, and then we can do Western, maybe it's going to be in Ghana, and then we can do Southern, which is going to be South Africa, and then we can do Morocco. You know, we can do different regions that can be able to, and then we're also planning one for diaspora, because we have some of our members in Boston. So we're kind of saying, hey, how can we bring this, you know, young Africans like who are studying in the US together to be able to come up with maybe some solution back at home. So we're working on those areas. And so which means when you're our member, you're actually exposed to this different forums at maybe at a very 50% rate. So you don't really have to pay much and all those kind of stuff. So basically that's how we operate.
Kelvin, one of the things we'd like to discuss is a social enterprise, part of the company, yeah, and how that impacts our society. But we'll do this after this break. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. More on Kelvin's story after this break. Welcome back. You're watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. This week, our guest is Kelvin Jodisi of ASENTI.
Yes, thanks.
One of the things you mentioned before the break was about submitting ideas through your website.
Yes.
How do you protect people's ideas? Anything
that somebody submits is only mandated to our organization, and we are the only ones that actually check. So we don't share anybody's information with other third party. The only person that has access to that is the few people in our organization that have access to that. And then again, we don't transfer these ideas to a third party or something like that.
Sometimes ideas are similar.
Yes,
so how do you decide which is a better idea?
We really don't choose ideas only, because you know they always say that ideas are just, you know, ideas are just ideas. You know, you cannot be singing around and say, you know, I have this idea and all that. No, what people always look at is practical. So like, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm doing it at a particular scale. You know, because you can never say, like, you know, I have this idea. Every time ideas are being generated.
It's true.
And I'm very sure even you, every single day you always have an idea comes up in your mind. You might not actually implement it, but like, hey, you know, if I had this, I could actually do this. You know, so ideas are not that important. Everybody has an idea. What you're looking at is, number one, when we're selecting, is how innovative is your idea. Number two is scalability, because that's a key thing. I don't want to have a business whereby I can only do it in Nairobi, and I can never maybe think like, hey, I want to go to Cape Town and do the same business. So how scalable is your business? And then again, problem solving. Does it have a social impact? You know, we don't want just an idea where you're making money. Is there a kind of impact that you're creating in the society? So like, I mean, like last year we had some very good ideas like Afya Patanishi, which was just a platform whereby you get medical information. So you get the nearest hospital or the nearest clinic around you and all those kind of stuff, just using the application, you know. So for us, that's something that, like, you know, this is impactful. The fact that if I go today maybe to Moranga, and I don't really have to struggle. I can just go to my app and know that there's this dispensary near me, it's this kilometer apart and all this kind of stuff, and it's offering this service. For me, that was something very, very cool.
You say you're a social enterprise company. What does that mean?
Okay, so a social enterprise business is a business that actually does not 100% focus on profit, but actually focus more on impact to the society. That's a social enterprise.
And what does it take to start a social enterprise company?
Social enterprise is more like passion driven. So it's not just waking up and saying, I want to go buy jeans and sell, or just waking up and say, I want to start this multi-million telecommunication company. This is something that takes your passion. What have you looked, in your society, have you checked a niche where you can provide solution? What's the problem around there? Are kids malnourished? Is there a problem with maybe traveling, transport system? Do women have a problem when they're going to labor and all those kind of stuff?
How many people do you work with?
In Kenya, we're around a team of 5. And then we have a representative in South Africa, we have in Botswana, and then we have in Boston as well. And then we also have a few board of advisors as well, and as part of our team. So these are people actually who advise us and, kind of give us the right direction and all that.
What would you say has been your greatest achievement?
Last year we had around 5 businesses formed through ASENTI, and that is in terms of mentorship, and they had a chance to pitch, and even the award that they got was more on mentorship and leadership training, which for us, I think that was an achievement. There were just 5, but this is some of the business that I sometimes even see them on the newspaper, and they're business that are really, really growing, and for me, that's what really inspires me.
Calvin, you work with a lot of young people, and you've done this for very many years. What advice would you give them when it comes to entrepreneurship? What should they consider? Find
time to learn. It's always good to learn. When you are young or when you're just starting business, that you need to be part of a particular system. You need to find a small place where you can be able to learn. Get to learn differently, not only from one particular pot, but get to learn differently. And again, obviously, don't fear making mistakes. Better make a mistake and you tried than not trying because you fear making mistake.
Anybody interested in being a member of ASENTI or being part of ASENTI, what do they require? What would you require from them?
There's really no big requirement. You just have to be passionate about entrepreneurship. You might actually not be in like fully doing your business, but you might be actually employed, but you're just like, hey, I'm employed here in the next 5 years, I'd like to start something. And so for you to be able to do that, then you need to start the journey pretty early. Yes, you're employed somewhere, but partly you need to start thinking like, hey, how can I be able to be doing this? So that by the time you exit, you just don't exit without any plan.
Calvin, thank you so much for your story and what you're doing with ASENTI. Really, there's no doubt that the change that you will bring or have started bringing will make quite an impact, not only in Kenya, but in Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I always say that it's good to try than just sit there to wait for somebody to do something. You have to also take part, And so just sitting there is complaining, oh my goodness, the government is not doing this, my parents are not doing for me this. So what are you doing for yourself? That's a key thing.
Thank you for watching Road to Success, the key to your next level in business. Remember, we rise by lifting others. Do have a blessed week.
Road to Success is brought to you by Equity Bank.
Equity Bank. You are listening, caring partner.